This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
And the pitch is swung on, hit the right field, hit deep. Whitefield going back at the track, over his head, and over the wall. Do you believe that?
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Ramirez with a drive to deep right, away back, goal!
Go Hayes! It's a bomb out there by the Rocks. And boy, oh boy, this third inning is now showtime.
It is a Judgian blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to spin rates to game-changing moments. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us next from the town, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Speaking of humidors, they must have a lot of humidors in Iowa the way the ball was flying out last night. Or let's just say wasn't flying out last night. We will get to the Field of Dreams game. I must have been watching a different game. I think there's no question about it. I was watching a different game than what I heard today from the national media. But this is what we got going today. Bobby Crosby, Midland manager, former A's shortstop, and Rookie of the Year is going to be here at 2:30. The skipper of your Oakland Athletics, Mark Kotsay, is going to be here at 3. And then Robert Ford, play-by-play man for the Houston Astros, is going to be here at 3:30. So great guest for you once again here on A's Cast Live. Commander, how are you?
Good. You were talking about the Field of Dreams game. I watched the first couple innings before I went and watched our minor league team, Stockton, playing San Jose. And, yeah, the balls were flying out of the ballpark. It was a good game.
By the way, you like my Baseball Hall of Fame coffee mug?
Cooperstown's a great town. I mean, I haven't been there in 20 years, but
my mother got this on one of our trips years ago. We'll show it to you if you're watching on Twitter or on YouTube. Great merch, as we like to talk about here on A's Cast Live. Unbelievable merch. By the way, this series has gotten very interesting from a standpoint of, because I know you're saying this is interesting. The A's and the Astros have been interesting this year. The Athletics are 6-6 against the Astros. They've won 4 straight against. Remember, they got that win before the All-Star break and then came out and swept them in a 3-game set. But here is what's, I think, very interesting. Houston has the 4th easiest remaining schedule. The only teams that have an easier schedule, and it matters for them, is the Cardinals. Well, the Reds is 3rd easiest. Then it goes Cardinals, Mariners. Now, Mariners, that means something. They're in the playoff race. Cardinals, same thing, as right now they have leapfrogged the Milwaukee Brewers, and they lead in the Central. So that means something. And it means something for the A's also. Why? Because they can play spoiler. And the reason why the Astros have the 4th easiest schedule, it's because they got the A's on the schedule a lot. So they're basically saying, hey, Houston can cruise. Why? Because they got the A's. Not so fast, my friend. As like we said, the A's have won 4 straight against the Houston Astros. And I'm really torn about this information I'm going to give you next. Because now it is, I think it's safe to say that as of right now, we can see the finish line. We're in August. And you're going to blink, it's September, it's call-ups, that the haves and the have-nots, we have separated. It is what it is. Now everybody's battling to get in the postseason. You're battling to win your division. I mean, we got tight races, man. Stop looking at the East and the West. Cleveland is only a game and a half up on Minnesota. 3.5 games up on the White Sox. That means a whole lot of wild card invested in that. Like we said, Mariners invested in the wild card. Then you go to the East in the National League. I know New York has a 7-game lead, but that can be made up like that. They've won 6 in a row to get that 7-game lead. New York's one bad weekend away, and the Braves are one good weekend. Plus, they play each other head-to-head. That division is not done yet. My beloved Philadelphia Phillies are still in this thing for sure in the wild card.
No Schwarber tonight for them, though, versus the Mets.
And I don't know what you can – Bryce Harper coming back from a broken wrist. I don't know. Milwaukee, only a half game back of St. Louis, so that's division and wild card. And then you got all kinds of wild cards still going on with the Padres. And that division blown out by now. LA's only won 10 in a row, and they have a 16-game lead over Juan Soto, the greatest athlete in American sports history. As someone he's been sold as the greatest athlete. Move over Bo Jackson. Move over Carl Lewis. Move over Bruce Jenner. Yes, I said it. As greatest athlete, all-around athlete, Juan Soto's greatest athlete this country's ever seen. Michael Jordan, get out of here.
LeBron might be the greatest athlete we've ever seen.
LeBron compared to Juan Soto, that's dumb. You'd never have that conversation.
Juan Soto is actually hitting well for the Padres, but they're
well, he better. He's been dubbed the greatest human being. I mean, Juan Soto is so great. He might be the first president of the United States to not be born in the United States. They may change the rule that you don't have to be born in the United States and to be an American citizen to make Juan Soto. It'll be the campaign to get Soto back in D.C. I can see it now.
Soto is a Padre, 357 batting average, a 1,078 OPS, 6 walks, 3 strikeouts.
You're 16 games back.
And 1 home run.
Yeah, great.
Like you said, you can't walk your way past L.A.
Ain't going to happen, but whatever. But what's interesting about this series this weekend, as I know you think, how is Townsend really going to sell this? This is how I'm going to sell it. It's the race of the two big boys, the two superpowers. That would be the New York Yankees and the Houston Astros. I am on record here. I talked a big game back in the day about it. I'm not sure if you kept it. Do you remember when we were in New York? Was that in June?
Yeah, June.
Did you kept the audio of me predicting the Yankees will not make the World Series?
Yeah, I have that audio. So
Okay.
I don't have it saved like on the. I have it saved on my.
You have that.
It's on my hard drive. Yeah.
You had that because last time I checked, the Yankees had won the World Series in June. Is that correct?
Correct. And Aaron Judge was the MVP.
Well, I will say he still is the MVP.
No, for sure. What does he have? 45 home runs
You
now?
want the stats on him? It's stupid.
Yeah, but 45 home runs now, so he's 16 away from tying Roger Maris.
When do they play today?
Well, probably at 4 our time. I'll pull up their schedule. I don't even know who they're playing. The Yankees are playing.
Oh, here you go.
Yankees Red Sox in Fenway.
The thing is, I will give Juan Soto this. Juan Soto has bumped the Yankees Red Sox on television constantly.
Guess what's on MLB Network tonight?
Is it?
Yankees Red Sox.
Well, now, is it the Apple TV game? Is Padres Nats or something like that?
Let's see.
Because Juan Soto's going back to D.C.
Padres.
And MLB Radio on Sirius XM.
Yep, it's Apple TV.
Yeah, they're pumping that up today.
Yeah.
By the way, who is just to give you folks a little insight, MLB Radio on XM. Love the channel. I listen to it all day. So I'm either that or MLB Network. But soon, NFL Network, my other love.
Starts tonight for the Niners.
You'll be back.
Niners. Trey Lance era starts tonight.
What? That's tonight?
Tonight. Packers, 5 o'clock.
Don't care. How many snaps will Aaron Rodgers play?
He said, he had a quote that playing in the preseason is dumb or something like that. So he's not even going to play.
How many series will Trey Lance get?
He's playing from what I've heard from Kyle Shanahan. He's going to play games 1 and 3, sit out game 2. So who knows?
Good luck. All right. Aaron Judge I don't know. You tell me if this is MVP. Aaron Judge has hit a major league best 45 home runs.
It's pretty good.
He's batting 400, 12 home runs, 29 RBIs, and scored 20 runs in 19 games since the All-Star break.
That's Hall of Fame or Hall of Fame. That's MVP worthy.
And for you bozos, and I say that tongue in cheek, who think Ohtani's the MVP because he pitches and hits, I've got guys like this to my right who have been telling me all these years that WAR matters. Well, if WAR matters, Judge's WAR is higher than both Ohtani's WAR, hitting and pitching combined. Judge playing center field, a premium defensive position, and hitting home runs every night is more valuable than a guy who maybe pitches once every 5 days and DHs. I'm not the sabermetrics guy. I'm not attending any saber convention time soon. But if you're going to tell me WAR is, hey, that's the one we can all agree on and look at, it says your overall game. Aaron Judge's overall WAR as a position player is by far higher than as Ohtani we call him a two-way player. I actually think, and I'm not trying to denigrate him, but I actually think we should put it as it really is. He's a starting pitcher who doesn't give you a ton of innings, who's not reliable to go every 5 days, and a DH.
Yeah, are they still using a 6-man rotation?
No, but that's what they started out with.
Well, that's what the Astros are going to start using with McCullers coming back too. But
that's what he is. He's not people who don't follow this closely want to make him out like he's Verlander on the mound and Judge at the plate. And that's not the case.
Yeah, he's good on the mound, but if you take away his batting,
he's 5-6 innings.
Well, most guys are 5-6
innings.
innings.
5-6 innings. I mean, I'm not getting Verlander.
No, you're not getting Sandy, our good friend Sandy in Miami.
Alcantara. Sandy Alcantara. Say it with me.
Alcantara.
There you go. So, yeah, you're not getting that kind of production. You're getting a lot of strikeouts for 5-6 innings and a DH. It's incredible, and I hope we see more of it. But he's not Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is the MVP right now.
Well, do you think he'll get to 60, 62?
Yeah.
I think so, too. And it's going to take over
And
television.
You know why? You know why I want it to happen?
No, for the Giants fans admit about the
Bonds. The whole Bonds things comes. Oh, it's going to be so great. A's fans, bask in the hate with me. A's fans, just come into my world and feel me here. I'm at the bottom I'm the cockroach of the sea. I'm the lobster of baseball. I'm the cockroach of the sea. I'm at the bottom of the ski. I'm the scavenger just sitting here waiting because my day is going to come. Judge hit 62, and then the New York media is going to come, and the soft-ass San Francisco media won't know how to handle it. And here comes the big bad New York media, and they're going to be like, Bonds is a cheater. You can put him on the Wall of Fame. They didn't retire his jersey, right?
I'm pretty sure they did.
Did they?
I was there. It was 4 years ago.
You can retire his jersey. You can act like he's in the Hall of Fame. He's a cheater, and our guy isn't. I'm speaking as the New York media, but our guy isn't. Our guy gets drug tested. Our guy did it the right way. Our guy is the home run champ. Barry Bonds, you deserve it. The asterisk is coming back. They're going to want an asterisk. They're going to call him a cheater. And what are you going to do? What's the San Francisco Chronicle going to do? What is NBC Sports Bay Area? What's KNBR going to do? What's the soft San Francisco media? You going to stand up to New York? They're going to run over the San Francisco Bay Area media like a steamroller. And but he's our guy, but he did it. You can't take it away from him. Yeah, they're going to take it away from him. The New York media is going to come with their 8 million writers and they're all the bloggers, all the people who come to the Yankees, Yes Network, all the MLB Network, which basically is an extension of the Yankees Yes Network. MLB Network's going to come down on you. And what are you going to come back with? My man, John Shea? John Shea is a great man and a great writer. He can't stand up alone. What you're going to bring? Who are you going to bring? KMBR? Oh, what? 95.7 the game, who now all of a sudden everybody became Giant fans over there. They're going to take on MLB Network. Come on. Stop it. I can't wait. Aaron Judge, I'm rooting for you because it's going to expose so many people in our area. And yes, this cockroach at the bottom of the sea is just going to be, I'm going to be like a lobster on my back, just laughing. It's going to be great. But with that said, back to the point, as they say, always get back on the road.
Yeah.
Veered off back on the road. What's important about this series? Astros now have the best record over the Yankees. No one saw that coming. No one saw that coming. It's here. I have to believe or prepare for doom and gloom, which would be Yankees, Astros, ALCS. Hate them both. Probably won't be able to watch that series without vomiting. But there's a good chance that will happen. For the Astros, and this is why the A's can play spoilers, is that the Astros, you give the Astros home field advantage, even though that World Series that they lost to the Nats, they won every road game.
Correct.
But at home, the Astros have beaten the Yankees 6 out of 7 in the postseason. A lot of the same players. You're talking about a lot of same guys. The mojo's the mojo. You rather be at home and play in your dome where you're comfortable in front of your fans than be playing, what's the ALCS? That's now late October?
Yeah. Mid to late, yeah. I think they're still trying to finish the season for November this year.
I'll just tell you this. You're not fired up to play in late October outside in the Northeast.
I would say especially in New York.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's Boston, New York, you got no roof. I'd rather be at home in my dome, retractable roof, with all my fans. And that's what the Astros have worked for. They've reeled in the Yankees. And they want the Yankees at home, to where the Astros in recent memory, they've lost 4 of 7 on the road at Yankee Stadium in postseason games. So the A's do have a chance to play spoiler and maybe send the Astros to Yankee Stadium, or help send the Astros to Yankee Stadium, which either way, I don't care. I wish they both would lose. In this scenario, I can't find a way where they both lose. Now, the Astros have not been playing great. They're below 500 in the last 17 games, 8-9 record. And that includes 26, 27, what was it, the 25th, 26th, 27th when the A's swept them. And this series is now tied at 6 apiece. So you think they'd be getting dominated. They're not. So it's time for the A's to play spoiler. But I'll tell you what, one thing that has to happen, I'll tell you right now, you got to hit with runners in scoring position. It was an embarrassment in those 5 games. I hate to tell you about the math. I've done the math, and if you watch this show long enough, I don't like math. The math is not good of what the A's were with runners in scoring position. Do you by any chance know, Commander, what it was in the 5 games?
Yes. If I saw it correctly, and I think you might have mentioned it, was it 4 for 40?
No. Worse.
4 for 44.
4 for 44. Now, I can sit here and tell you Yordan Alvarez is struggling. The great power hitter's hitting a $146, 12 strikeouts in the last 11 games. New shortstop, Jeremy Pena's batting a $118, last 13 games. I can give you some guys struggling for the Astros. Michael Brantley, the great outfielder, is done for the year as he had shoulder surgery on his right shoulder. I can give you issues, but man, you're 4 for 44 with runners in scoring position. 4 for 44. You know what? I'm just going to bust out the old batting average calculator. I didn't do the bat. I forgot to do this. 4 for 44. What do you think that is? One what?
If you do 4 divided by 44, it's 0.09090909.
It's 0.091.
Yeah, not good.
They hit 91 with runners in scoring position during the homestand. 91. The A's, during the time of their 5-game losing streak, were outscored 24-12. We once were bragging about Elvis. Remember that?
Yeah, he was playing really well.
Yeah, he's hitting a $118 during that time. Sky Bolt, $105 in the last 8 games.
He was starting to come around too. Remember all the talk about, maybe he's finally starting to figure it out.
And I tell you a guy that I love to death. This guy has been a human highlight reel for the Oakland Athletics. I've been a big fan of his for a long time. I think he's kind of been part of the heart and soul of this team when the team was going good. But there's a problem. And I don't want to speak ill of him, but at some point we got to be honest. Ramon Laureano's not getting it done. Ramon Laureano in his last 16 games, he's hitting a $183, 19 strikeouts. And I just start thinking about Ramon Laureano. This was a very important year for him. He was to get traded and move on and go somewhere else in his career. That was one option. The other option was, and really probably the bigger thing overall, was to prove that the PED thing didn't matter. Because like all players, I don't know how this happened, and, put this behind me. I mean, how many times have we heard that? How many times have we heard, didn't know, wow, I'm sorry, I should have been more careful. Ramon Laureano was an anabolic steroid. That's not like, I got a tainted pill at GNC. That's no. And all of those, I am not, we used to be really up on this and talk about it all the time. It's been a long time since I've cared. Have we had one player in recent memory? I mean, this is baseball's drug testing. I remember reading about how there's the Olympic testing is done at UCLA Medical, and it's like the top notch in the world. Like baseball's like on par with that. Like to think that I take pills. We all take pills, right? It's like I took this thing from GNC that's trying to help my testosterone, and just all of a sudden I'm now testing. Well, those pills that they sell in GNC are not technically real testosterone that people inject or whatever, that you have to have a doctor, you have to get prescription. It's not legal over the counter. Stuff that you get at GNC. You can't say I went into Rite Aid and got something. I'm like, I was taking this and I didn't. The great Steve Vucinich said it. Now that he's retired, I can use his name. The great Steve Vucinich said it. Everything you possibly need is in this clubhouse. Everything. anything you need legally. Everything that's in that clubhouse tonight for the Astros and the A's, pick a game. Go into the clubhouse. I'm just going to turn the page. Ready? Brewers Cardinals. Anything in the Brewers Cardinals clubhouse that's tonight, that's at their game, is legal and has been approved by Major League Baseball. So you need something, an inflammatory, you need something to pick you up, anything that you need. Anything to get you going, to help you out, get rid of inflation, make you feel better, get rid of your headache, get rid of jet lag. Anything you need is in that clubhouse. Legal. That Major League Baseball has approved. So anybody that goes outside of Major League Baseball and buys something and takes it, tests positive, and they take the bottle and they go, oh, it was this, and you weren't taking that. The testing's too good. This is world-class drug testing. These are drugs that are being taken that are not legal by Major League Baseball standards. And the problem with Ramon Laureano is he's following up his suspension for PEDs with a 225 average, 12 home runs, 28 RBIs. Let's see what the OPS is. See, look at my Wi-Fi is not too. Look how fast that is, Commander. OPS of 707. Ramon Laureano is, how old is he? 28 years old. Check his birthday. This was the year. This is his prime.
He just turned 28 last month, July 15th.
This is his prime. This is his chance to show the world and his chance to make the most possible money he can is right now. To set himself up. And really would be to set himself up to get traded to another team. And Ramon Laureano's hitting 225 with a 707 OPS. I mean, I could make a case it's the most disappointing of all. Because, once again, love him. Absolutely love him. I mean, he has been a big rock for our ball club for a long time. And would love to see Ramon Laureano do Ramon Laureano things. Because let's face it, he's a baller. When he was going right, what he was doing in the outfield, hitting bombs and doing everything that Ramon Laureano was awesome. But this has been a struggle. So you've got X amount of games left, and the reality is it's time to play spoiler against the Astros, and it's time for guys. Kyle Stevenson, we haven't even mentioned him yet. How big was that? Comes over in the trade for Christian Bethancourt and gets his first hit in his second at-bat.
He had good at-bats, too. It's not like he went up there. I know he struck out in the
Great
first
at-bats.
But he went down swinging on a foul tip. And every other bat, even though his last at-bat where he grounded out at the end of the game, it was still a good at-bat. Like, you got to be impressed with him. And he's a guy who played only a few games in Vegas, but he had more walks and strikeouts, and that's a positive in the right direction for how things have gone this year.
No doubt about it. Do we have Bobby?
We do.
Bobby, how are you? It's Chris Townsend. Welcome to A's Cast Live. How are you?
Good, Johnny. How you doing?
We're doing great. And you know what it's like you make your debut. How about, I don't know if you got to see Cal Stevenson's debut, but he's from Fremont, just south of Oakland. His whole family was there. They had a whole sign that spelled out his name. And in his second at-bat, he gets that base hit. And then no longer are you chasing that. Just if you remember back what that moment was like for you.
Yeah, it was incredible. I actually had to wait a whole offseason to get my first hit. When I got called up in September, I went 0 for 12.
Oh.
So, I had to wait the whole offseason. The second game of the year, I got my first hit. So, yeah, it was a little bit tougher for me having to wait so long. But, it's always fun to kind of see guys get it out of the way and go out and play.
Yeah, and just talk about at this time with this organization where we've been talking about it, whether it's this show or I've been talking about on the post-game show, Oakland is the land of opportunity. If you're a young player, you've been drafted by the A's, or you come over in one of these trades, whether it's for Chapman, Olsen, Montas, whatever the trade, we just saw it with Cal. We just saw it with JP Sears taking the mound. We've seen it with Zach Logue earlier. Just talk about how coming here, whether they're going to play for you or Fran Reardon at AAA, man, you got a chance to make the big leagues.
Yeah, I mean, these guys know it. They know they have an opportunity. Jonah Bride started with me here, and he's been up there for a couple months now. The guys that are in this clubhouse, they know that it's a good spot to be. If they perform, next thing you know, they could be up with Fran in AAA, and they do well there, and they're up. So it's for a young player or a guy who maybe has even been around a little bit. They know they can get an opportunity in the big leagues, and it's a good spot for them to be and showcase what they got. So the players are aware of it. We're aware of it. And they have to be happy with the A's right now.
And I got to think about your ball club. A lot of people are talking about players down there, and they're the names that we keep looking at and we know are part of the future. Just how is everything going in Midland?
It's awesome. We're having a great second half in first place by a couple games. So we're doing well. I mean, we have a slew of talent here. I mean, every night I have 5 guys on the bench that should be starting somewhere. So that's making my job a little bit difficult, but it's a good problem to have. But when you have Geloff and Diaz and Soderstrom in the lineup every night, it's pretty fun to watch. And you get talent with Ginn and Criswell and Hogan Harris, Cushing when they're on the mound. We're in a good place. So we're playing well. Hoping to keep it going and get a few more wins and win the division.
So we went, what was that? Was that last year or was it 2 years ago we saw Geloff, Cody?
It was last year.
It was last year we went to a San Jose Giants game because it's just down the street from our house. And to see Geloff, and you looked at him, you went, yep, he looks the part.
Yeah.
Big dude, power, agility. I mean, kind of had like, and I know this is not fair, but kind of has that Mike Schmidt build with the athleticism and the size and the arm. Just talk about, this third baseman out of Virginia, and what do you think? How do you view him as a big leaguer?
I mean, he can play third. He can play second. His bat, he can hit it to all fields and all field with power. He's a complete hitter. He's not just a pull guy with power. He went out the other night to right center here in Tulsa. He takes good at bats. He takes what they give him. But most importantly for me is his mental game. The guy thinks he's a big leaguer now. He prepares himself like a big leaguer. He's a clubhouse leader, and he's one of the younger guys in the clubhouse. But guys kind of gravitate towards him, want to be around him, hang out with him. So he's a guy that guys kind of turn to, and at a young age for him to do that now, it's pretty impressive.
That's interesting. He prepares like a big leaguer, like he knows how to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're a big leaguer. Were you like that? I mean, how do you get to be like that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's innate or the upbringing. I'm not sure how he got to that point. From when I first met him, he kind of had that swagger about him, had a focus and a vision. And he's here. He knows he's here to play, but at the same time, he has bigger goals. He's not just happy doing well here. He wants to go up there and lead up there. I know as soon as he gets to the big leagues, he's not going to be a guy who kind of just falls in line. He'll be a guy who wants to lead and be a part of the core group there for a long time. So I don't know how he developed that, but the fact that it's there is a beautiful thing, and he's going to be a leader in that clubhouse for a long time for sure.
Yeah, and I think about Soderstrom. I mean, this kid has been bred to be a ball player. I mean, I got to play against his dad in college. His dad was such a star at Fresno State, and then went on to play for the Giants. And they've had that baseball clinic there in Central California. This guy's grown up around such tremendous talent and players. He's been playing against kids above his age and working out with them. He's like a prodigy. I mean, do you view him as the same? And my God, he's so young too.
Yeah, he has a different personality than Zach. Zach's a little bit more outspoken. Tyler's only been here for a week now, a week and a half. He kind of goes about his business in a more quiet way. But from the first time I saw him at the alternate site when he first got drafted to now, he's already grown up mentally. His swing is it's perfect. We were talking about on the bench. I don't know if you would want to, if you were to construct a swing, you'd probably look at his. I mean, there's really no flaws in it. And he played some first. He's catching for us. He looks great. So he's a different type of guy than Zach as far as mentality, but they both have that goal and that vision. And this is just kind of a stop for them. They both know they're going to be in the big leagues. So having both those guys in the lineup is pretty special.
We just had David Forst on the program doing the general manager show, and I said, all right, give us here down the stretch, because we're all following it. We're all looking at your guys' box scores. And I said, give me guys to look at. Give me guys to, who can help that we could see, okay, I'm going to watch this guy, but then at spring training next year, he could be in Oakland. So he talked Geloff, of course, Sodi, of course, but he mentioned who you mentioned, Jordan Diaz. He said he's one of the guys that could make the jump sooner or later. Give us a scouting report there.
The scouting report is he rakes. I mean, from day one. I mean, maybe he had the first 2 weeks he struggled a little bit. Ever since then, he gets up there and he hits. He's not the most patient guy. He's going to have to work on that a little bit as far as getting some walks. But he sees the ball and he crushes it. He has a great ability to put the barrel on the ball, and even if he's fooled, he keeps his hands back. He's a guy like Geloff who can hit it to all fields. He's not just a pull guy. He has power to all fields, knows his swing. He does know the strike zone, but he's a guy who's up there and he wants to hit. He sees a ball that's in the middle of the zone and he has a good ability to put the bat on it. He does it. So, we've been playing him at first a little bit. I think that's where he's going to end up. He just still has a little bit of work to do there, but his work ethic has been great this year. So, but the bat's going to play. The bat's really good.
Last time we talked to Criswell was when he was drafted. He was in the backyard at the draft party with his coach from the University of Michigan. And, was so excited to be drafted, and decent-sized kid, throws hard. And we've kind of been tracking with him because, we had him on video. It's great to have him on the show, right? So how is the big right-hander doing? He's
doing great. He's got some confidence, that's for sure. That's what I like about him the most. He's not scared of anybody, any team, anybody he faces. He's like another guy on this team. Well, we got a lot of them, I guess, that know they're going to be big leaguers. We go over scouting reports before the game, and there isn't anybody that he goes, I don't want to shy away from this guy or be careful. He goes after guys. His stuff has been really good, and every time he goes out, he's going to compete. So he's another guy that A's fans should be looking for, that he's going to keep getting better.
I think we just put Keith Lippman in the A's Hall of Fame, and 52 years of being a guy not about himself, about everybody else, about helping players, coaches, managers, front office people. He's been a mentor. He's been everything to everybody, but it was always about not him. It was about everybody else. And I think about the opportunity you have, which is so unique, because, we look at you and we go, Rookie of the Year, big league shortstop, your career, and now you're managing. How grateful are you for this opportunity to be able to take everything that you learn and everything that you've done, and now your job is to help these guys reach their dreams. You've gotten your dreams. Now you're there to help them reach theirs.
Great point. And going back to Lip is the best. A lot of the stuff I do now is stuff I learned from Lip, as far as teaching and leading by example and being a leader. But I feel so fortunate. Like I said, like you said, I had my time to play. I had my time to shine, and now it's these guys. And to be able to watch them through their career and be able to talk to them and go, hey, I dealt with what you're dealing with. I've been in your shoes, and now this is going to be your path a little bit. And to see them kind of take that advice and continue on and get better, for me, it's 100 times better than playing. I love playing ball, but coaching and being able to make other guys better, I'm in a good place. I'm happy. I'm a happy man.
Well, and they always talk about catchers make the best managers. It's catchers this, catchers that. What about shortstops? Shortstops, you're right in this too. As much as the catcher's calling pitches, as a shortstop, you're aligning the defense. You're seeing every pitch. You're right in that pitcher-catcher relationship almost, because you're looking right over the pitcher's shoulder. Why do we not have more shortstops as managers?
I don't know. I grew up in a baseball family. My dad played. I was always a student of the game. I always wanted to know where everybody else should be. I knew where I was supposed to be, but I want to know this guy should be here. Okay, what pitch is he throwing here? Why is he throwing? Okay, when are we going to pick off this guy? Is this guy going to steal here? I've always been a student of the game. Love the little nuances. I think some guys go out there and they play baseball and they're they're just playing. They're good at it, and they know where they should be. And I think other guys really study the game and study what happens in the game in different situations, and when do you put the infield here, and what's the spot to walk a guy here. And that's the part of the game I've always loved. Playing was great, but the mental side is something I've always dove into and have a lot of fun with. So for me, it's a good fit.
One thing that I'm not so sure about this, I want to get the answer from you, but something that is a skill that can't be easy, but it's to get the trust of your players, for them to understand what you're trying to do is what's best for them. Even if they don't like it, you're trying to help them get to the big leagues. And there may be conversations they don't like. There's maybe positions they don't like. There may be places in the batting order they don't like. But what is that like, those conversations, when you're trying to gain the trust of your players to be like, dude, I'm trying to help you as much as I possibly can, because not everybody gets that.
Yeah, and like I talked about before, it goes back to Lip and how much he cared about guys. I think the players generally know that I truly care about them. I hope if you ask any of the guys, they would say that I truly care about their career and where it's going. So for me, it hasn't been, if a player knows I'm going up and talking to him, he knows I'm going to try to help him. He knows I want what's best for him. And for me, that's a big thing. So I can have any conversation I want with the guy, whether it's me getting on him or me being his buddy or whatever it is. He knows that I have his best interest at heart. And if they truly feel that, then they'll accept whatever I have to give them. And I think that's where this team's at, and so far how I've tried to manage.
Yeah, I think, you look at playing baseball the A's way. And I know years ago there was the Oriole way and the Dodger way. I just know all these years, the A's way is, hey, it's 27 outs. You're playing hard. Doesn't matter what the record is. Doesn't matter what the score is. Bob Melvin preached that. We heard Mark Kotsay really preaching it down at Ho-Ho Cam. You came up in this. Just talk about it, what your view is of what the A's way is to play baseball.
For me, it's being a grinder. It's every at bat. It's every pitch. If you strike out and there's a ball in dirt, I expect you to run it out. If you hit a pop-up, I expect you to run it out. I expect you to know the situations. I expect you to be a good teammate. I expect you to pick up each other on and off the field, care about each other, love each other. But playing the game, I expect you to play hard. You have control over that. You don't have control over if you go for 4, 0 for 5, whatever that is. But you have control over your hustle. You have control over your effort. You have control over showing up another team, another player. I expect these guys to play what I believe is the right way. And that's a little bit, I guess, more old school than how baseball is now at times. But I expect our guys to bust their butts and do the things that they have control over, because baseball is hard, but you can control the small things and being prepared and working hard.
Yeah, people forget this game is really hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy. Joey Votto last night, I don't know if you got to see that, but Joey Votto was mic'd up at first base, and it's pretty interesting. This guy is a potential Hall of Famer, and he's talking to John Smoltz while he's playing first base, talking to John Smoltz, who is a Hall of Famer, and they were just talking about velocity difference and because of when Votto came up to what it is now. And he's like, if you can't time a fastball and can't lay off a breaking ball, you're done. That's just how difference from 95 to now you got guys hitting 102 to 100, consistently 98, 99. And it's like, listen to Votto, and he's just talking about, a lot of people just don't realize just how hard it is to play the game. It's
extremely difficult. I see guys now watch games and see guys with the movement they have on 99, 100, and the ball's two-seaming. It's insane. They definitely didn't have that even, 10, 15 years ago when I was playing. So, the rise in talent is definitely getting there. And even in AA here, we're facing guys on a nightly basis that are throwing 97, 98. We're playing Tulsa right now, and every one of their starters is throwing 95, 96 plus, and then they have guys throwing 100. And so they're, at this level, they're learning how to deal with that and learning how to deal with failure. A lot of these guys still haven't, you can get through low A, high A without really having to fail too much. And now you get here and you have to deal with failure, and it's difficult. But, it's extremely hard, and guys, will handle it their own way, but they're going to have to handle it at some point and make the adjustment.
Yeah, when you're in Double-A, you can see the big leagues because you can move from Double-A to the big leagues. I mean, this is legit. You get to Double-A, Triple-A, but Double-A, great young talent, and the big leagues, you can move up, and who knows, we'll see what happens the rest of the way here. Just for you as a manager, now that you've been doing it, what have you learned? And I think also that coaching for everybody at the alternate site, and I know Fran Reardon ran that, but it was like that was intense coaching, getting everybody sharpening your skills once again as a coach. But what do you think you have learned and how you have grown as a manager?
Dealing with people better, dealing with players better. Little nuances of the game I've learned from Fran. I've learned from Ed Sprague. I've learned from Grady Fuson, Keith Littman. I pick all their brains. Coming in as a player, starting out coaching, you're a little raw. You played, but there's a lot of different things that go on. So I learn on a daily basis from my own staff, situations and personalities. Every day we come in, it seems that a new guy has a new issue, whether it be good or bad. So it's learning how to handle different situations and different times in the game that you always kind of run across something that's new. So I still have more to learn, but I'm always willing. But I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, that's why when you hear a guy as a manager, you're managing a team, and that means you're managing human beings.
Yeah.
And human beings, things happen on the field in between the lines, and they're human beings, and stuff's happening to them outside the lines, away from the field. You have to manage the people. That's what, whenever I've heard all this, well, it's all about the analytics. And I said, no. Somebody's got to sit, at the front of the plane, the front of the bus. Someone's got to lead the charge, and someone has to manage the people because there's a lot going on because you're not dealing with robots. You're dealing with human beings.
To me, that's the biggest thing. I can go out and manage a game and win, lose, or guys play great or don't play well, and so be it. But that's the biggest thing. And that's where developing these relationships with the guys in here. And like I said, knowing that, they can have my trust and I trust in them, and I'm an open book and they're an open book of me. And we have that open relationship where we can tell each other anything, whether it be good or bad, dealing with something off the field. And most of the time, there isn't really a guy in the clubhouse that hasn't come up to me with something that's going on off the field. People get to see these guys play and enjoy watching them play, but it's real life too. They're away from their family, they're away from their friends. Real life situations happen, and how to deal with that can be difficult at times. But they teach me as much as I teach him, and I'm loving it. And we do have a good time, but we celebrate the good times, but we're also there for guys that struggle or having a hard time at times.
Well, I'll tell you what, A's fans love you, and it's great having you on the program. It's great seeing you. Good luck the rest of the season. Let's chat again soon, because obviously down there you've got some very important guys. You got the future of the Oakland A's sitting on that ball club.
I'm happy to have the future. It's good. We have a good team, and they played the game right, so we're going to try to do what we can. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Take care, and you be well.
Will too. You too.
Bobby Crosby, Rookie of the Year, former shortstop for the Oakland Athletics. He's fantastic.
I made this joke with the great Alex Jensen, who was in town because of
Who?
Staying with me for the next couple of days. But I asked him, I said, it's the reverse of Carlos Beltran, who got fired for never managing a game. Is Bobby Crosby the only manager to ever get promoted by never winning or losing a game? He was hired to be Stockton's manager. The COVID year hit, no minor leagues. The next year promoted to manage Midland.
Never thought about that.
Talk about extending up the ladder. He must have done some great work at the alt site, but a lot of he's handling
that alt site, baby.
Yeah, there were some power. Hey, there were some power hitters there.
Do you realize what we lived through from a baseball standpoint? My God, we were at the winter meetings. Everything was great. Life was just booming for us. Everybody. Oh, and then wham, no baseball. First game was when we had 60 games. When was that first game?
Like July 26th, remember Matt Olson had a walk-off against
Walk-off grand slam. I was taking phone calls all night. Robert Costa was panicking. I'm like, come on, man. We haven't played in weeks, months.
It was months.
We had a game.
I think it was, eight months since we
played? I would have gone all night long taking calls, Matt Olson hitting that grand slam.
But by the way, there's a question on YouTube from a viewer, Pam, asking, she wants to know where you got your shirt from.
This one. I think was it a giveaway? What's on the back?
It says Urban Aztec is what it says on the back. So I'm not sure.
I just to be honest, was it Pam?
Pam, yeah.
Pam, to be honest with you, I've been working around this organization for so long, whether around it or for it. I got so much stuff. I don't know where it's from. To be honest with you.
It looks like, well, it says Urban Aztec was at the Coliseum on August 20th of 2019. So maybe you got it a couple years ago?
Yeah, I have literally, it drives my wife nuts. I have literally drawers full of Ave stuff. I've got, when I moved, probably was it 6 years ago I moved, I had so much junk giveaway stuff that I just threw away. Like I thought about it like, oh, I could give this away on shows. And it was like, I'm moving. I got to get rid of it. I mean, I had so much stuff dating back to the early 2000s that I remember the one I'll never forget the one that I had the Pringles back to school backpacks.
I never saw it. I'd have to Google it.
I have no idea what year that. I think that's like 08 or 09. And in it was a Travis Buck bobblehead.
Vince said, where are they now with Travis Buck?
Look what year was the what year was the Travis Buck bobblehead?
Oh boy.
2008. 2008. So the Pringles backpack had to have been 2008. I remember my kids never wanted them, but I had these backpacks for my kids and all this A stuff in it. Yeah, I don't know where I got this shirt. I just have a lot of these shirts that I never, you know, the one great thing about doing the show and doing the stuff on NBC every single day is I get to bust out all these shirts that I casually would just wear around town, wear to the gym, that I never got to really showcase because you got to dress more professionally when you're at the ballpark, right? So it's mostly polo shirts. And I got a ton of A's polos, but I've got, remember the emoji shirt? I mean,
Yeah.
Did
you have that on recently?
Yeah. I busted it out. I would have never worn it. It would just sit in the drawer. I mean, the other day I had the Marcus Semien shirt.
Oh, I
got the Chris Davis shirt.
There's a Marcana one.
But I got stuff that goes back to way back when that they're all in bad shape now. But I mean, I've kept most of them in pretty good shape. And now, since we're doing this and it's appropriate, I can now wear these shirts to games. I can wear T-shirts, these A's T-shirts that normally probably would have looked unprofessional, but since we're doing the show on the field, it looks cool.
Yeah, for sure. And
Last Dive Bar, our sponsor, by the way, you did a horrible job decorating our.
I have the Last Dive Bar Chris Townsend Just Make It Happen shirt on.
Our Last Dive Bar, our sponsor, Last Dive Bar, they put a bunch of shirts together and putting shirts together for us. So T-shirts are great. And now we can wear these to the game, and now people don't look at us like we're like slobs or unprofessional.
Yeah, I mean,
because we're doing a show, and it's on Twitter and YouTube.
It looks like also the Urban Aztec looks like they kind of did something a couple years ago with Oaklandish, and Oaklandish makes nice stuff too. So
maybe it is from.
I don't know,
but it's cool though, and it's the A's.
Because on the shirt,
this might have been like a Hispanic Heritage Night deal.
I think that might have been back in 2019. That's where you got it from. No, because I don't remember getting that shirt, and I was here in 2019, so it had to be before that.
Yeah, but you don't get everything that I get.
Well, if it was a giveaway, we would have gotten it.
Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just for certain people,
maybe
certain employees.
Yeah. I mean, you got your own Townie Players Weekend jersey.
Yes, that is true.
We should put that in here somewhere.
It's right over there.
You should wear that when they do the player. Are we doing Players Weekend this year?
I don't know. I don't know what we're doing anymore. I can't wait till we get back to a regular season with regular giveaways and regular everything. CDC came out, was it yesterday? We're back. Everybody's back in business, right? The 6 feet, we don't have to be 6 feet from each other.
Yeah, they have a whole. I think it was someone tweeted it out about all the different stuff you don't have to worry about doing anymore.
Isn't COVID still going? But now we don't have to do all that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
By the way, I'm unless I got it from him, I'm COVID free. Because I told you I had the X-ray, right?
Yeah.
And they made me test before I took the X-ray. I'm good. So if I get it again, it's from you.
I don't know.
Because you've been hanging out. You're going to San Jose Giant games.
That's outside.
You're hanging. Yeah, you're outside with people like this, breathing on each other.
There was like 400 people there.
Spitting on each other.
I was like one of 3 A's fans. There was me, right field Will, and like one other random person.
Right field Will was there? Oh, that he's does that.
He goes to every baseball game.
Well, no, he didn't have to work the Stockton game.
Oh,
as he does the PA.
Well, he could have done the PA. He wouldn't have been able to do it yesterday. I tried to get Alex Jensen to let me do an inning of Keller with him, but he said that there was no room in the booth. He had someone else in there with him, some guy that worked for the Giants.
Oh, yeah. First of all, I would not in any way roll in there. And, I mean, Alex Jensen basically acts like we don't exist anymore. I mean, this is fact. Alex Jensen, voice of the ports. Now he gets in like fancy articles and everything, and he just talks about, how Ken Korak and Vince Cotroneo helped him out.
He's going to be upset if he hears this.
Well, it's true. Ken Korak and Vince Cotroneo had zero to do with Alex Jensen getting on with the A's. Zero. Zilch. Were you mentioned in that article?
No, I don't think I was.
Who gave him his first job? Who gave him his first broadcasting job with the A's?
I believe it was you.
Who got him paid with the A's?
I don't need to say anything. You're pointing.
This guy.
Actually, you know what? I will have to say we're streaming on iHeart still, so I do have to say you.
This guy. I wasn't in the article, but Ken Korak was. I didn't even think Ken Korak knew his name.
Ken wanted to come to the game. He texted me last night. He was on Wednesday when I was at the ballpark. He's like, "You're going to the game? You're going to the Ports game tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I might join you." And I'm like, "Well, Ken,
is Ken not on the trip?"
See, that's what I thought. I thought he was, but maybe he isn't. Alex said maybe. I think he might be.
Oh, you know what? You know what? Ken's at home listening to A's Cast Live. That's what Ken's doing.
While on the golf course, or maybe he's listening with headphones on.
Oh, he would have already played by now. Ken's not out in the heat. He's Ken Korak. He would have teed off early, had lunch. Ken's not out here in the heat. How much time do we have?
We still have like an hour. We have
no,
Mark.
we
have Mark Kotsay next.
When do I get to rip the Field of Dreams game?
After Kotsay, we can do that.
By the way, ratings are in. Down 47% from last year.
You mean you weren't excited to see Cubs Reds?
Had nothing to do with the broadcast. Fox, A+.
Oh, Smoltz and Joe Davis are great.
A+. Everything was great. Griffey's coming out of the corn.
Johnny Bench on Keller.
Johnny Bench took over that inning.
Yeah, he was great.
He's Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench talked about growing up in Oklahoma. This is like growing up. Incredible. Joey Votto mic'd up. Oh.
I have a couple cuts of that.
By the way, Joey Votto, if you never get into the Baseball Hall of Fame, I know this means nothing to you, and you'll never see this, but I'm just going to say it right now. You'll always be in my Hall of Fame. I love Joey Votto.
Oh, finally coming around on Votto.
No, I'm not coming around the walks. Joey Votto's a Hall of Fame guy.
Oh,
I've always liked him, but the more you hear about Joey, the more you hear from Joey Votto,
it's
Joey Votto. Joey Votto's the kind of guy you want to hang out with.
It's not just that. You have to see the stuff he does on social media too. The TikTok videos, the stuff at baseball games. There was the other day wherever the Reds were playing. Someone put out a short snippet of the video, but like there was a girl running to grab third base, and Joey Votto ran by and was like I beat you, like jumping up, like celebrating as he ran past the base as she's going to grab it. Like he's taken social media on. He's never done it. It's like the first year he's done it, and he's run away with it. Like Jeter joined it, and Jeter's been kind of funny, but Joey Votto is light years, as I steal from Joe Lacob, light years ahead of most athletes on social media right now, especially in baseball.
If Joey Votto doesn't make the Hall of Fame, it's going to be because there was too much walking going on and less slugging.
He was Juan Soto before Juan Soto.
But you know what I'm saying?
Well, last year, remember, he said he wanted to hit home runs.
Yeah, and he started hitting home runs.
He hit 36.
All those walks that were great, but, when it adds up and you're looking at – because they put his numbers up last night, he's still just over 1,000 RBIs.
Yeah.
For a first baseman?
He's –
in that ballpark?
He's four.
In that ballpark.
Yeah.
The Great American Bandbox, he should have been hitting 40 every year. driving in 120 every year.
I think he's 47 career home runs away from tying Johnny Bench for the all-time Reds record.
And he's a first baseman.
Yeah.
Johnny Bench was a catcher.
Yeah. Again, Johnny Bench, tremendous that inning with what he called John. He goes, John Smoltz, I already know you're in the Hall of Fame, but you'll be going back in 20 years as a Hall of Fame broadcaster.
And
I mean, Smoltz is really good as an analyst.
And he had the suspenders.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, MLB Network, John Smoltz is not on MLB Network anymore because he didn't take a vaccination shot. How is that playing, by the way? How is that playing? Now, you're looking at two guys, both had 3 shots, right?
Correct, yes.
We both on Pfizer, 2, and a booster.
Same.
Right? Now, with all these guidelines dropping and all this stuff, and people still get COVID even though they're vaccinated, when we were told you couldn't get COVID when you're vaccinated, remember that?
It was a long time ago.
They said you get vaccinated, you can't get COVID. That didn't age well. So now the people that didn't get vaccinated, are we done hating them? And John Smoltz is not on MLB Network because of that. How about that?
Al Leiter isn't really either, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think if Al is on there, he does it all from home.
Did you have to show vaccination to get into the ballpark yesterday?
No, I don't think they've ever done it in San Jose. The Oracle Park has it in San Francisco. When the whole when vaccines first started, you had to show it. That kind of got dropped like earlier last year.
Smoltz
or this year.
Was the best guy on MLB Network.
Oh, there was no one better.
He was
That's why he's doing games on
HR,
Fox.
we love you. Love you. Disco Dan.
I asked for him. I sent him an email.
Dan, please sex money in a different way.
DJ
Dan in a different way. They're all great. But Smoltz was fun. Smoltz is a broadcaster. Not only was one of the great pitchers of all time, as a broadcaster, unbelievable. The fact that he's not there because he's not vaccinated, unbelievable. And we're still doing the vax thing at our border. We don't allow Canadians in, and Canadians don't allow us in. It's hard to believe.
I saw it's continuing for the NHL or NBA one.
But I have a way to fix the Field of Dreams and all these nationally televised games. So once again, broadcast up. Broadcast, you were fabulous. Fox did. I thought the broadcast was phenomenal. And Smoltz talked about his father passing away, his father passed away yesterday, and he still did the game.
Oh, his dad passed away yesterday?
Yeah.
Wow.
They did. I think it was in the 8th inning. The whole thing. The production, awesome. The game, that's the problem. It's not Fox, not the broadcasters. And thank God Joe Buck's gone. It's not the broadcast.
Wow. I didn't realize you hated Joe Buck.
It's not the presentation. Nope. That was all everybody's dressed. Tom Verducci, everybody's dressed up in old school. Awesome. The scenery, awesome.
No strike zone on the television broadcast, by the way, or the K zone or whatever we want to call it.
But the whole just the cornfields and the sunset, just like it was last year, awesome. Problem is the actual game. We'll get into that. But coming up next, it's a Friday. That means it's time for the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's. We're going to break, though.
Yes, break.
We are going to pay some bills, and then the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast Live.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Hey, A's fans, your Athletics are back in town, and we're kicking off the series with a boom. That's right. Post-game fireworks presented by Lagunitas are back after Friday night's matchup against the Mariners. Friday, August 19th, join us at the ballpark when the A's take on the Mariners, and then head down to the field to see the best fireworks display in the Bay. August 19th fireworks presented by Lagunitas. Tickets start at just $15 and are available at athletics.com. That's athletics.com.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
Some things just go together. Peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk, Oakland and Kaiser Permanente. If that last one caught you off guard, it shouldn't, because Kaiser Permanente has been helping keep Oakland healthy since our very beginning. And as the official healthcare partner of the Oakland A's, that won't be changing anytime soon. Whatever you may need, you can trust Kaiser Permanente to help keep you feeling your best. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive. Visit kp.org today.
Coming in at 5'3", it's number one mom. She switched to Xfinity and got the all-new 3-for-1 bundle. Unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile. All for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. Boom shakalaka. Go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
We got the lineup in, right? Tony Kemp leading off, playing left, followed by Ramon Laureano DHing in the 2-hole, in the 3-hole. The man who's actually still hot. He's going to have another baby soon. Seth Brown hitting .367 with 7 dingers, 10 RBIs in the last 15 games. Is that any good?
Yeah. I mean, him and Sean Murphy. I mean, Sean Murphy since, what is it, June
7th.
Yeah, June 7th. I would go back and look at from July 1st on. He's been unbelievable. Seth Brown has been great.
You know what Seth Brown's? I just did the math real quick. My San Jose State math. And yes, I did go to the calculator to make sure I got it right. Seth Brown in the last 15 games, I told you .367. I told you 7 home runs. I told you 10 RBIs. That's a OPS of 1,283.
That's pretty good.
You like that?
That's MVP caliber.
You like that?
It's over how many games?
Last 15.
Well, if you put those numbers up for a full 162, Seth Brown's an MVP.
How many games we had since the All-Star break? Because he wasn't with us. They had the baby right after the All-Star break. Is that correct?
Yes. Let me.
My baby knowledge.
I'll have to look. I have to pull up this.
Because he joined. Remember, had the baby. And I mean, a baseball player's life. He has those few days, and then he was back out on the road. Where were the A's on the road? Right when he had the baby? I can't remember. Like this season.
Oh yeah, hold on. I'm pulling up the schedule right now. Right after the All-Star break, that was in July. We were we played at home for 8 games. Remember, we had the doubleheader against Detroit, Houston, Texas. Then we went to Chicago. So we played.
He joined the team in Chicago. That was it. So this is all second half.
I think it's 20 games if I did my math.
Yeah,
correctly.
so this is all second half, these 15 games, because he missed the start coming out of the break. Something like that. But he's been red hot, man. You got a 1283 OPS in 15 games, hitting .367. That's incredible. We will talk about him. We'll talk about Jed Lowry. We haven't even talked about Jed. Shame on us. We'll address all of that with Mark Kotsay. Here is the Mark Kotsay Show. It's time for the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast, brought to you by Nest Betting. Check out their locations in the Bay Area for all of your betting needs. The top mattresses in the business, or you go online, nestbetting.com. Use the coupon code Oakland to get 10% off your entire order. We're talking beds, we're talking pillows, sheets, everything that you need. You go to nestbedding.com or one of their locations in the Bay Area. Mark, how are you today in Houston?
Doing well. Haven't been outside really, but know it's hot and know that we're playing indoors tonight and against a really good ball club.
Yeah, after having a tough homestand, is it good for the team to get on the road, which will be all in Texas against the Astros and the Rangers?
Well, it obviously is good to get out on the road. We played better baseball on the road this year. Albeit we're definitely up against the best team in our division. The Astros, I think our current record's 72-41. They're on pace to win this division. And yet, we had them at home a few weeks ago and we're able to sweep them. So, hopefully, we come out tonight, get a good pitching performance and play good baseball.
Is there something about embracing the role as the spoiler?
Yeah, I think there's something about embracing the role that we know where we're at. And, in order to get where we want to be, whether that's by the end of the season or whether that's building for our future, that we have to beat good teams. And so playing this team, gives us that opportunity to align ourselves and see where we stand.
Well, we've started to see young guys start to come up, and I think about Cal Stevenson, the kid from Fremont, getting his first look. He came over in the Christian Bethancourt deal, and of course, J.P. Sears, who came over in the Frankie Montas, Lou Trevino deal. What was that like, having new guys around and kind of seeing what potentially the future could look like?
Yeah, well, obviously we didn't get a lot of time to say hello to them. They jumped in the clubhouse. JP did on Tuesday and introduced himself to the team or his teammates. And, for Cal, he walked in Wednesday morning and was thrown right in the fire into the lineup. And I'll talk about Cal first. He obviously had success with a different organization, and that being Tampa in AAA. Came to us, we put him in AAA, and he continued that success. So he's earned this opportunity to come up here and get this chance to play in the outfield, to get this chance to take some at-bats and show what he can do. And honestly, on Wednesday, I was really impressed with his ABs. Even the final at-bat of the game, where the game's on the line, he got behind 0-2 and took some really tough pitches to get back to 3-2 and barreled the baseball. So his at-bats looked really good. On the other side of it, you look at a young starter in J.P. Sears that came out with us, a new ball club for him, and really just was aggressive in the strike zone and challenged hitters, got some weak contact outs. And I think for the first time in my baseball career, I saw 4 consecutive pop-ups to first base. So overall, really impressed with the 2 new guys.
Yeah, and obviously we saw Sears earlier in the year. He's a guy that pitched in 7 games for the Yankees, 2 starts. Probably could say for a lot of organizations he'd be in their rotation. Tough right now to break the Yankees roster, so a lot of time in AAA. But there was something about him that didn't look like a deer in headlights. I mean, he was coming right after guys. Retired 15 straight in a row. Do you see, and I know it's early, you've seen him for 1 start, but do you see this playing out there where there's a good chance he could be in your rotation the rest of the way?
Yeah, I definitely do, Townie. I think he's, after his outing on Wednesday, if you just evaluate it from the standpoint of the efficiency of it, he went out and I think he only had 65 pitches in 5 innings. And as you talked about, had retired 15 in a row. He was on a pitch count. That 6th inning, he goes out and gives up a couple hits, and his day was done. But overall, the book of work on Wednesday was very impressive, and we'll see. Hopefully he continues to build on that in his next start.
I don't think about this for just the A's. I think it for every team. having a versatile outfielder who can run and make a lot of contact. I know he's hit for average in the past. Let's hope he's going to hit for average here. Just when you talk about Cal Stevenson and how you're going to use him, and then just talk about also how big it is to get that first hit out of the way in your second AB and you're not chasing it.
Yeah, he was, as I said, he looked calm, didn't look nervous or deer in the headlights either. I know he's a big day for him and for his family. He had a great cheering section down the left field line with signs included, which was awesome. And, see him get that hit and feel confident and just take good quality at bats. There's definitely, an opportunity for him that lies here to earn playing time and earn that role.
Yeah, no, it was exciting to see, and that was pretty cool. I mean, you talk about all the family, all the friends, people that have been there for you for so many years, and they spelled his name out because, let's face it, guys like yourself, normally when you get this opportunity, I mean, I'd probably say 99 point whatever % of guys who make their debut never do it at home in front of family and friends.
No, you're absolutely right. I made my debut in 1997 in Florida, where my parents barely made the game because they had to fly from California. And it was just my mom and dad in the stands. So it was great to get him that opportunity for a local kid growing up in the Bay Area, as close as he did to Oakland, and to have him out there for his major league debut and to have the section and the fans and the family cheering him on was great.
There was a struggle during the homestand hitting with runners in scoring position. How do you try and get the club to snap out of that?
Yeah, we have to talk about our approach. And I think at times young hitters put themselves in situations where they feel that they have to do something. They have to get the runner in instead of focusing just on the at-bat and the pitch selection. And I think we saw that a little bit even on Wednesday. Not with our young hitters, but with our veteran guys, guys with experience. I think they felt the anxiety to the at-bats and the anxiety to want to get that run across, knowing that it mattered and that we would win a baseball game. And so, we've got to talk about that. We've got to continually, coach these hitters and coach them not just on mechanics, but more on the approach and on the mentality and with runners in scoring position that, nothing changes. You want to get a good pitch. You have to focus on, the job at hand. And if that means there's a runner on third and the infield's in, you got to get a ball up in the zone, that you can elevate and hit to the outfield and get your RBI. Take what they give you. So there's a lot to learn, and there's, a lot of games left for us to continue to work and coach on and teach these guys, how to hit with runners in scoring position.
Well, one guy that really since June has turned it on, just talk about what you've seen at the plate with Sean Murphy and what he's been doing since. I mean, you can go all the way back to June 7th.
Yeah, for Sean, the biggest thing for him, I think, is just not over swinging. And I think staying with that middle to right center approach, we've seen the success. We've seen the hits start coming. And that's key for Sean. I think when he gets to the pull side and gets a little bit happy and, I don't think he realizes how hard he swings when he swings the bat. And so controlling him to just keep his approach to the middle of the field is going to be important. And I think that's what he's done a good job with. And that's why he is having the success he's had since June.
Yeah, because it's like Big Murph. You got the nickname for a reason. I mean, you're a big dude. You're strong. It'll go out. You don't have to swing out of your shoes. It will go out if you just make big contact. Is that something that's hard to tell big, strong guys?
It's hard to tell any player because I think they do want to hit it as far as they possibly can. But, both these guys, and I'll include Seth Brown in this conversation because I think they both really excel when they, stay with their approach, stay on the baseball, think about hitting the ball the other way and letting the pull side happen. And I think we've seen that with Seth as well. So I think the important, message to both Murph and to Brownie is you just got to touch it. and it'll go.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And the way Seth Brown has played ever since having his child has been unbelievable. I mean, it's been a lot of fun to watch. So even though, you do have to celebrate, wouldn't you say, the good times and the good things during a rough season, and Murph and Brownie have definitely been huge bright spots for your ball club.
Yeah, they really have. And they've, grown as players. Again, they've struggled early. They found a rhythm to their season. They found what they can be successful at, and they've stuck to it. And that's where we have to continue to keep their mindset. And as you talk about, you have positives, even if, you are in a negative type season. The important thing is to stay positive and prepare each day, as I always talk about, to just win the day, win the game. And I think that's continuing to be the message, and continue to fight, continue to play, which we did in the homestand. We fought, and that's really the character of this club.
Managing innings and managing workloads at this time of the year is very interesting because, guys want to continue to grow, and they want to continue to eat up innings, and it helps them obviously in their careers. And there's times where you go, well, you want to hold a guy back. So how do you envision basically these next X amount of games, 2 months, and dealing with your starting pitching?
Yeah, our starting pitching is young. Some of these guys haven't made 30 starts in a season. So we really have to, as you talk about, manage their workload, look at their velos, look at their body comp, and just take into consideration that they're still growing and we're still building them up. And it's important for these guys to, as you talk about, maintain their strength, maintain their physicality throughout a long season, and understand how to do those things. And I think that's what we're going through right now. And we continue to evaluate it. We'll continue to stay up on top of it, and make the best decisions for these guys as individuals, and for our team collectively.
Let's end on this. I know it was a tough question. I should say, I know it was a tough conversation with Jed Lowry, who no question has been an unbelievable Oakland Athletic. All of his different stints here, what Northern California has meant to him as a Stanford guy, and meeting his wife, and the best success of his career has been in an A's uniform. You've known him for a long time. You guys played together in Boston. It is a business. Things happen. Just how tough was that conversation for you to have with Jed about him being designated for assignment?
Yeah, it's really difficult. And, from an organizational standpoint, from Billy, from David, from Dan Feinstein, they were involved in that conversation, which for me was very important. As you talked about Jed's career as an Oakland A, there were amazing accomplishments that we could go into. But ultimately, he represented what it means to be an Oakland Athletic, the grind of it. He's 38 years old, his 14th season, which I can relate to. I was 38 years old in my 17th season. And the game is the game. And I think he said it well. It is a business, but at the same point, you try to give a player every opportunity to end his career if that's going to happen on his terms. And, unfortunately, in this situation, they may not have been on Jed's terms, but, it did not come to Jed in a blindsided way. This was talked about prior to the decision being made, with Jed included. And, I wish Jed nothing but the best. I'm hopeful that he hooks on to another team that can use his bat, his switch hitting skills down the road and in the playoffs. And so for me, that was my message to Jed. I would thank him for all that he did this year in this clubhouse in the leadership role. And, but from an organizational standpoint, as you've seen and as you'll continue to see, we're going to bring young talent up here to get an evaluation to see what these young guys can contribute for our future.
We'll get some wins in Texas, get some good barbecue, and then we'll talk to you next week back in Oakland.
Sounds good, Tony. Thanks again, buddy.
There you go. It's the Mark Kotsay Show. We'll address some of the things that the skipper said. And can I fix last night's game? Maybe. Just maybe. Right here on A's Cast Live.
Hey, A's fans, your Athletics are back in town, and we're kicking off the series with a boom. That's right. Post-game fireworks presented by Lagunitas are back after Friday night's matchup against the Mariners. Friday, August 19th, join us at the ballpark when the A's take on the Mariners, and then head down to the field to see the best fireworks display in the Bay. August 19th fireworks presented by Lagunitas. Tickets start at just $15 and are available at athletics.com. That's athletics.com.
The Coliseum has gone by many names, but none better than the Last Dive Bar. Hi, everyone. Ken Korak here, and my friends at Last Dive Bar are helping us celebrate our longtime home. Last Dive Bar has the most unique merchandise for all Oakland baseball fans. T-shirts, sweatshirts, the Ray Fosse line, and my personal favorite, the lights have taken full effect. Visit their website at lastdivebar.com or follow them on social media at Last Dive Bar. All proceeds are invested back into the A's Community Fund and their affiliated charities. Go to lastdivebar.com. That's lastdivebar.com.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is a national brand with family-owned prices and service. You can shop at one of their Barrie locations, and all stores are sanitized and safe, or you can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
This is Chris Townsend for the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. Great news! Our indoor dining is back, along with our beautiful patio dining. Come taste our world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 83 years. The Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek has one of the most dynamic menus, plus a full bar. Pot pies, gourmet burgers, sandwiches, salads, flatbreads, and more. Don't forget, we still do takeout and delivery. For all the information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
I think, you know what? Forget I think. I know. We should make every general manager in baseball have to get in a room. They can't talk to each other. They have like partitions in between each other. And each one has to sit there and watch last night's game front to back in silence. And they have to watch every single pitch for 3 hours and 21 minutes. And they can get up to go to the bathroom, still can't talk to each other. They've got to sit there and actually watch it for 3 hours and 21 minutes. And then we get to grill them individually. You like that product? You like what you saw last night? You like seeing 206, 182, 207, 184, 230, 217. We had a guy hit last night in this game hitting a $135. This is what you put on national television. Once again, Fox was phenomenal. The broadcast was second to none. The game was trash. These teams are trash. This as a entertainment product is trash. What you put. That's what you put on the national stage. Was that trash? That's how you want to promote your game? 3 hours and 21 minutes of boring trash baseball? There can't be anybody who watched that last night and went, yeah, that was a good game.
How long did it take? 3 hours?
I fell asleep during it.
Took what, 3 hours and 20-something minutes?
3 hours and 21. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 pitchers, 3 hours and 21 minutes. 9 pitchers to get a bunch of dudes out hitting 203.
No, look at me.
Yippee!
Let me give you context real quick before I call Robert Ford. 3 hours, 21 minutes, 6 runs scored. The Ports and Giants in low A scored 19 runs last night. The game took 2 hours and 47 minutes.
Get Robert Ford on the line. We're going to throw that by him. Fine broadcaster for the Houston Astros. Will join us as we get you ready for the Astros and the Athletics here on A's Cast. I want to ask Robert this, and it'll be an honest opinion, and one of the top voices in our game. Is he with us? Robert, welcome back to A's Cast Live. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good to be with you guys.
Great to be with you once again. We just want to ask you this because we've been talking about it. First off, last night, did you get a chance to see the Field of Dreams game at all?
I saw some of it, yes.
Yeah, the production, Fox did a great job. The production was incredible. Unfortunately, the ratings were down 47%. But this has nothing to do with Fox. I thought Fox was great. But last night's game didn't have a whole lot of action, a lot of bad batting averages. It was 3 hours and 21 minutes. My producer, Cody, our A-ball team was in town playing the San Jose Giants. Cody, how long was that game?
2 hours and 47 minutes.
And how many runs were scored?
19.
19 runs were scored were 2 hours and 45 minutes compared to last night's game that went 3 hours and 21. Which game would you rather attend?
Well, I think, the pitch clock is coming, and I am looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, there is absolutely no doubt about it. These series with the Athletics and the Astros are very pivotal for the Astros because I remember back when the A's were in New York in June, everybody had already crowned the Yankees the World Series champions and no one was going to beat them. And all of a sudden, as of today, the number one record in the American League belongs to the Houston Astros. Not only that, the Houston Astros, as you know, hold the tiebreaker over the Yankees. So these games for the Houston Astros against teams like the A's, these games are huge because you want that home field advantage in the postseason.
Oh, you absolutely do, especially when you think about a potential matchup with the Yankees and, having more games in Houston than at Yankee Stadium. And, Dusty Baker mentioned that to me in May about the importance of getting that home field advantage. So it's been on their radar for a good chunk of the season. And you're right, these games against the A's are pretty important. And especially, I think the A's have the Astros' attention with the way things went in the month of July when the A's won, 5 out of 6.
Yeah, it's hard to know what you're going to get out of the A's. I mean, the A's sweep the Astros. Next thing you know, we come back home for another homestand. We just went 0-5 on a homestand where we were 4 for 44 with runners in scoring position. So who knows what you're getting with the Oakland Athletics in this series. But we do see the Astros last 17 games, 8-9 record, nothing to panic about. But the Astros haven't been playing their best baseball. What's been going on?
Well, I think, the offense has been a bit inconsistent at times. I think, the pitching, has been really good all year. I think the back end of the rotation hasn't been quite as good over the last couple of weeks as it had been. And I don't think it's anything to be too alarmed about. As from an Astros perspective, I think it's just, it's 162 games. It's hard to be at your peak for 162, but I think we're seeing signs that things are getting a little better, that there's a little more stability in the lineup. And also, too, I think, it's certainly unfortunate news that Michael Brantley is going to be out for the rest of the year after having shoulder surgery. But I think what that does do is now the Astros know, okay, we know Brantley isn't going to be back, instead of just kind of playing the waiting game. So now you can kind of just move forward with, okay, this is the team. Trade deadline has passed. Michael Brantley isn't going to be back. These are our guys. Let's figure out how to best maximize what we have.
Yeah, I mean, he hadn't played in a while. Of course, he didn't play the last time the A's took on the Astros, and it's just, you feel really bad for him because he's truly one of the good guys in our game. He's been great to us here with A's Cast, and just such a great player, tremendous hitter, and you deal with injuries, but just, especially if you're going to hook up against the Yankees in the ALCS, you want them to be at full strength. You want to be at full strength. And unfortunately for the Astros, you won't be at full strength, not only what he does as a player, but who he is as a man in that clubhouse.
Oh, absolutely. And Dusty even talked today about how, because Brantley's going to be away from the team for a couple of weeks recovering from his surgery, but then he plans to be around the team after that. And Dusty mentioned exactly what you just talked about, the influence that he has. Dusty even said, they call him Uncle Mike for a reason, because of that influence and his leadership. And so it's good that they'll still have that. Certainly, obviously, you'd prefer to have his bat in the lineup, but I think the Astros will take what they can get from Michael Brantley at this point.
And when you look at the Houston Astros, Lance McCullers Jr. coming back tomorrow, what are expectations?
Well, I think with Lance, when he's at the top of his game, he's pretty tough to beat. And he's one of those pitchers, he rarely gets beat. Usually he beats himself, whether he starts falling behind in the count, and starts walking people, or just doesn't locate particularly well. But when he's doing his thing and pitching the way he's capable, it's pretty tough to beat him. So, I think the Astros at this point, you have 4 minor league rehab starts, and I think the Astros just would be happy to see him healthy and get through, say, 5 innings, and have something to build on, because the best Astros team includes Lance McCullers Jr. in the postseason rotation. I think anyone who knows anything about this Astros club knows that.
And going into the series, and it's hard to believe, because when you go to like Baseball Savant, you look at Yordan Alvarez, he's great at everything: hard hit percentage, exit velocity. I mean, you name it, he's a red, which is great in everything. But he actually has been scuffling a little bit lately. What have you seen in the last 11 games?
Well, Dusty gave him a day off yesterday. I mean, I think it could just be, a little tired. I think he's just missed some balls. So, that gives you an idea that maybe it's he just needs a day or what have you. But yeah, I'm curious to see how he does now after getting a day off yesterday. And Dusty had wanted to give him a day off in Cleveland, but Kyle Tucker missed that series in Cleveland with an illness. So we wound up not giving him a day off there. And then, the Astros come back home and play the Rangers before playing Oakland. And so gave him the day off yesterday. And I think that's really going to help Yordan.
The story, we talked to Sparksy last time in Oakland, and he was just marveling over Justin Verlander. I wanted to get your take on it. It's just at his age, coming back for Tommy John, and now looking like Verlander in his prime in Detroit. What's it like to see that every 5 days?
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, you're watching a future Hall of Famer who is still pitching fantastic baseball. I think the biggest difference now is he's a little more efficient. Doesn't have the strikeout rate that he once did, but still strikes out his fair share. But I think he knows he needs to get early count outs, and it's not exactly pitching the contact. I think he just understands that you only have so many bullets in that arm, and if you can maximize what you do have, that's just going to make you better. So I think that's the biggest difference with Verlander now compared to when he was really at his peak and winning MVP awards in addition to Cy Young. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason for anybody to have expected Verlander to pitch the way he has this year. Yeah, you expect him to be pretty good because he's Verlander, but the one of the top pitchers in the American League and a Cy Young contender, leading the league in ERA and all these things. I don't think anybody had any reason to expect Verlander to be quite as good as he's been this year. And it's been fantastic to watch.
Well, nobody is ever going to have to sell the Oakland Athletics on Justin Verlander after what he did to us in the playoffs. not only in 2012, but a repeat in 2013. And I remember there were these articles that came out that went, are we sure Justin Verlander's a Hall of Famer? Like questioning it. And you're like, are you guys crazy? I mean, he will be the one guy. If there is anybody, Robert, in our lifetime that's going to reach 300, if there's anybody even has a chance at 300 wins, it's going to be Justin Verlander. And what you're seeing now, I think you'd have to say, at 39, he's not even close to being done yet. There's more life from years to come.
Yeah, and, one of the cool things about Verlander and following him every fifth day is looking at the people he's passing as he moves up the all-time wins list and the all-time strikeouts list. I mean, it's, to me, that's a lot of fun, especially being a fan of baseball history. Like, I think the next guy he's poised to pass for strikeouts is Pedro Martinez. Like, it's just cool to see stuff like that. He's the next guy on the wins list for him is Juan Marichal.
Wow.
I mean, it's really neat just to, if you're in the baseball history, to just see these names that he is coming close to and surpassing at this point in his career. And yeah, I think I agree with you. He certainly has a great chance at getting 300. And yeah, we may not, if and when Verlander gets 300, maybe the last time we see a pitcher get 300 wins for quite some time.
Let's end on this. What did it mean for the bullpen to finally get a left-hander actually in the bullpen and to acquire Will Smith, especially once you get into the postseason?
I've always been of the belief that no matter how good your bullpen is, you're always better off acquiring one more quality reliever at the deadline if you're a contending team, because you just have another guy to kind of just spread the wealth. So that way you're less likely to overwork your leverage guys. And I think that's the biggest thing Will Smith brings. I think it does help that he's left-handed. The Astros do have, Hector Neris is a reverse splits guy. So is Ryan Stanek. So, they have guys who can get lefties out who are right-handed, which is why they've been able to get away with a bullpen that's been mostly right-handed for most of the year. But yeah, obviously having another, not just lefty, but having another quality arm in that pen and Will Smith, I think will really help the Astros down the stretch and help them in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, a guy who has been a closer and saved a lot of big games. I mean, he's not just a lefty specialist.
Right. And yeah, that's the other part is he's pitched in the postseason. I mean, the Astros just saw him in the World Series last year with the Braves. So he's got that postseason experience. I mean, there's a lot to like from an Astros perspective about acquiring Will Smith.
Great stuff as always. We appreciate it. We'll see you again in Oakland, but have a great call during this series.
All right. Take care.
Robert Ford, broadcaster for the Houston Astros. I want to make sure I'm right on that, by the way. We see them again, right?
We do. I can't remember if it's here or if it's in Houston. It's September. It's in Houston, I think.
We don't see them. But I was right. We will see them again.
Yeah. You weren't wrong. You want some A's news? Before we get to Jed Lowry, I know you want to talk about Jed. From Martin
Wait,
Gallegos,
how much time do we have?
Like 18 minutes.
All right.
From Martin Gallegos, MLB.com, friend of the program. Zach Logue will start tomorrow for the A's and stick in the starting rotation going forward, per Mark Kotsay. A's will keep J.P. Sears in the rotation, so it'll be Cole Irvin, Cap, Sears, Aller, who's pitching tonight, and Zach Logue. He was on the taxi squad for this trip.
Oh, because Blackburn's out.
Yeah.
I was about to say, Aller. What?
Blackburn's out with, what was it, a inflammation in his finger?
Finger.
Do you think this is just a rest?
I am not going to allow you to bait me into that. I am not. Scratch the tape, scrub the audio, scrub the video. You did not ask that question. He has a finger problem, and when he is back, he will be fine. I want to give you, since you just tried to throw me under the bus, you want me to throw you under the bus?
Sure.
He asked me, could this be the last? Ask me the question you asked me before the show.
I asked, well, could this be the last time we see Adam Aller as a starter this year? Well, now we know that's not happening, but.
Okay, ask me again.
Well, now we know, but hypothetically, could this have been the last time we saw Adam Aller this year?
What was my answer?
No.
And do you want to tell the lovely public my reasoning?
You compared him to Chris Bassett.
And you may be like, what? How can you compare him to Chris Bassett? That's stupid, Townie. Well, it wouldn't be the first stupid thing or the last stupid thing I've ever said. But this isn't stupid. Because if you actually look, my whole point is this. And I've gone round and round with a guy who sits out in right field. You know what his name is?
James?
He was like, well, I'm like, listen, you got to see what you got. And you just can't throw him out there a few times and he gets lit up and you panic. This is the year of discovery. You have to see what he has. And actually, the A's have won both of all their starts against the Astros. Now, the numbers aren't great, 5.79 ERA, but the A's have won both. Here's my reasoning. If I go back to 2015, you now see Chris Bassett as an all-star, as just a grinder, terrific A's pitcher. That's how you view him now. You're not going to go back to 2015 and 16 like I did to Cody and had to teach Cody about A's history. 2015, Seabass, as you like to call him, was 1-8 with a 3.56 ERA, 18 games, 13 starts. And he did not pitch well. The very next year, 0-2 with a 6.11 ERA. Nobody at that time wanted Chris Bassett anymore. Boom, then his elbow pops. Tommy John surgery. Here we are. Career could be done. And no one even thought about him. You trying to tell me when we were down at spring training in 2018, we were talking about Chris Bassett? If you could find me one article, one interview, forget me, anybody else who was talking about Chris Bassett is going to be the leader of this pitching staff when he was recovering from Tommy John surgery in 2017, if you find anything, you're lying because it doesn't exist. Chris Bassett was never a hard thrower. There was nothing. He was a tall guy. He was all over the place, couldn't command the strike zone. If you go on Cody's thinking, you would have thrown Chris Bassett away, and you never would have found one of the better pitchers in the American League at that time. Think about that. That's a lesson learned. I'm not ready to throw Adam Aller out the door yet. Let's see. We've got nothing to lose. The team's 41-71. What do you care if we lose another game? Let Adam Aller pitch and find it or not. If he doesn't, you get rid of him. If you find it, it's like another Chris Bassett story. Chris Bassett, before his arm blew, Tommy John, had a 6.11 ERA. And it wasn't until he came back in 2020 and 2021 where he was feeling himself again. 19 was good at 10-5. And remember, said to Bob Melvin, I'll go in the bullpen. But really, 19, 20, 21 is when he found himself and became one of the better pitchers in the American League. But if you just went off X amount of starts and didn't believe in him, he would have been gone. He's never Chris Bassett, the Oakland A that we came to know and love. That's just words that you need to hear. So when you go, why do we keep running Aller out there? You traded Chris Bassett for him. Let's see what you got. And if it ever clicks, you're going to thank God you stuck with him. Just like you thank God they stuck with Chris Bassett. They could have blown Chris Bassett out easy. Because remember, early on, you may not know this behind the scenes, Chris Bassett was a pain in the ass. He and Melvin didn't always get along. Boy, by the end, Chris Bassett was saying nothing but singing nothing but Melvin's praises because he kind of matured as a pro and realized Melvin was right and this organization was trying to do everything that was best for him. Things happen for the good, and that was a great story. And Chris Bassett loves the A's and will love being an A. But he had to learn the hard way. Through injury, hard-headedness, he had to learn. So that's why you keep throwing Adam Aller out there. That's why I want to see J.P. Sears. That's why I want to see Zach Lowe. Let's see what you got. Waldachuk, get him up here. I really want to see Sears, though. Yeah, Logue's interesting, but Sears is a player. Sears has started 2 games, pitched in 7 for the Yankees, now has pitched for the A's and looked good. This guy pitched at Yankee Stadium, so pitching in front of 8,000 in Oakland ain't a big deal, right? This is not like, oh, he's in the big leagues. He was pitching at Yankee Stadium when the Yankees had the best record in baseball and pitched against the A's. Remember that? So I want Sears every 5 days the rest of the way. And I want to go into our off-season shows going, I know Cole Irvin. I don't care if we're all left-handers. Cole Irvin, J.P. Sears right now, Paul Blackburn, because I think Paulie will get it back. And then let's see. Let the competition and let the games begin.
What about Cap?
Until Cap's giving me more than 6 innings, yeah, he's in the competition. I mean, I'm not sitting here praising a guy that goes 5 innings and everybody goes, hey, looks better. Dude, you're talking 20. Is it 29 starts now? He hasn't gone into the 7th?
You're the one that's had that number.
The game notes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I don't know if I haven't looked recently. But
I think it's 29 starts. Cap has not gone. It's an Oakland record that you don't want to have.
He averages 5 innings a start. I did the math. He has 18 starts, 90 innings.
What am I doing with a guy who just can go 5? Is he now more reliable for me out of the bullpen?
I was thinking maybe because the whole thing with Rasmussen with the Rays, where he's complaining about he wants to pitch longer in the games, where he's the same. He's averaging 5 innings a start with Tampa, and I know they manage their workloads differently, but I mean, yeah, maybe Cap's maybe long term he's a middle relief guy or long
I'm
relief
just saying
guy.
there's going to be a competition, which competition is healthy. What did your friend Jim Harbaugh say?
Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron. Let's have a good old-fashioned competition.
I saw someone else use that quote recently, too. I forget who it was.
By the way, there should be only one guarantee in the starting rotation. If season ended today and we're talking spring training, Cole Irvin is the only guarantee.
And would you have said that going into the season this year?
Who's got the best WAR on the team?
Cole Irvin.
Who's your best player on the team?
Going off WAR, Cole Irvin.
You tell me how much WAR means. He's got your best WAR. But what about Murph? Seth Brown's hot. Best WAR is Cole Irvin. Cole Irvin has been your best. He and Murph have been your best players.
Yeah, best home ERA in the American League.
Now,
second best in baseball.
Could Cole Irvin get traded? No doubt. Could Murph get traded? No doubt. Just going to say, because Paul Blackburn has not thrown the ball well at all. That's not being mean. The numbers say it. It's been bad. So I want to think the good Paul Blackburn will be there. But look at that competition, right? Now all of a sudden you have this competition. So you got Cole Irvin. You got Paul Blackburn. You got Caprillion. You got Sears. You got Logue. You got Waldachuk. Who else we got in there? Aller.
Martinez, maybe.
Adrian Martinez. Give me over 10 guys.
Jared Koenig.
Keep bringing them. Who else was in trades that could help out? None like.
Well, JT again pitched last night for Midland,
but he's not.
Yeah, and Cusick and those guys are still.
And what's the Gunner
Hoagland.
guy? Hoagland. Yeah, he's an A-ball. But give me as much combat. Bring other sign guys. Let's have a big old battle in spring training. Who's the 5? And we know we're going to need probably 15. So you know what? Bring as many guys in and say, let's go. Folks, the average team uses 13 starters a year. You can't look at 5 guys anymore. You want to start the season with 5, but how much time do we have?
About 7 minutes.
I think it's time to honor a grade A. And no one was shocked by the news. But it's tough when somebody really, really has been a terrific player for you. And Jed Lowry being DFA'd is tough. But Jed, a terrific A. 205 doubles. Jed Lowry was a doubles extra base hitting machine for the Oakland Athletics. He was an all-star. Showed up in 2013 hit 290, 15 home runs, 75 RBIs with a 791 OPS as a shortstop. Next year, didn't have as great a year, would end up moving on to Houston in 2015. But then came back with a vengeance. Well, actually, don't forget in that 2013 year, he had 45 doubles. But then he'd come back in 2016 and playing 87 games. Okay, where is he in his career? And then the next 2 years, hell on wheels. The next 2 years, Jed Lowry would be awesome. In 17 and 18, he had an 808 OPS and an 801. He'd set the doubles record in a season with 49 in 2017. 2018, he followed that up with 37. In 2018, he drove in 99 runs, 23 home runs, 37 doubles, and was an all-star. Jed was nothing but a great pro. Jed was nothing but a mentor to guys in the clubhouse. Jed Lowry is a very smart baseball player. He's a very smart man off the field. He understood that there's something special about this place for him. Northern California means so much to him and his wife. It's where he went to school, Stanford, starred at Stanford, met his wife at Stanford, and the best years of his career, the years he could stay healthy and showcase his skills, were here in the Bay Area for the Oakland Athletics. Jed loves the A's. And I think I can say this. He grew to love the A's. I think when you first show up here and the clubhouse sucks, stadium sucks, and you're used to playing in all these different places, yeah. I mean, stadium was built in 66. Let's be honest. This isn't Fenway Park. This isn't Wrigley Field. And, oh, by the way, there's been plenty of players who hated playing at Fenway and hated playing at Wrigley Field. But Jed grew to love this place because this place made him better. Made him the player that he is. 7 years with the A's. 77 home runs. 405 RBIs, 205 doubles, an OPS of 737 for a middle infielder, and more importantly, a great guy. Jed Lowry is not going to go in the A's Hall of Fame, but for his time, I mean, he played on the 2012 playoff team. 2013, played on the 2013, 2014, 2018. I mean, he played in some big games for the A's. I wanted to say 2021, but it just fell short. I never checked his playoff stats for... Yeah, so he played in games in 2013, 2014. I mean, Jed Lowry was a terrific A. And it's just Father Time always wins. No one beats Father Time. And it obviously had to be a tough conversation. You heard Mark Kotsay on the Mark Kotsay show here on A's Cast Live talk about everybody was involved. You know, Billy, David Force, Dave Feinstein, they were all part of it. Because Jed's been a great A. It's meant a lot to this franchise. And not going to be shocked, right? If Jed somehow sticks around after his playing days in baseball and with the A's. I sure would welcome that. Always appreciated our time with him. Always loved having him on. He has a lot to offer. He's a cerebral guy. And once again, these guys have now made so much money, they don't need the money. It's whether they want to stay in the game. I mean, Jed Lowry's made almost $61 million in this game. $61 million. He doesn't need to work. He still wants to play, but it's now, once he retires, what do you want to do? He loves to travel. Kids are still pretty young. We'll see. I hope he's around. I'd love to see him at spring training. Certain guys you're going to look at as you just loved them as A's. Coco comes to mind. Coco loved being an A. Coco kept re-signing. Coco wanted to be here. Guys who want to be here, we end up loving. Not the Josh Willinghams who go, yeah, I want to be here, and he can't wait to get the hell out of here. We love the guys that wanted to be here. And Jed Lowry's one of those guys. Coco Crisp is one of those guys. And you're able to vote for Coco, by the way, next year. I don't think it's his time to go in as an A's Hall of Famer. I still think we've got guys from the 70s and the 80s we need to address. A guy that's got to go in. Uh-oh. We just had breaking news. Did I see this correctly? Breaking news. Oh, my God. Get the breaking news sounder. This is massive, massive news. Live from the ABC Sports Desk in New York, I'm Chris Townsend. This might be the biggest breaking news we've ever had. Padres star Fernando Tatis Jr. Are you ready? You want to guess?
Playing tomorrow for the Padres. I don't know.
Violated Major League Baseball's performance-enhancing drug policy and is facing suspension.
Oh, my God.
Wow. That's 80 games. That's 80 games, right? Your first one?
Yeah, 80 games.
Oh, Padres are going to get Fernando Tatis Jr. back. Padres this, Padres that, blah, 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 blah. Fernando Tatis Jr. popped for PEDs. There's been so many questions surrounding his rehab. Some people thought he was ready to go. Other people, physicians were like, I wouldn't do it. Maybe he thought to get back, I got to take some stuff. I got to do it. And Jeff Passan of ESPN reporting is going to be suspended. That means he is out for the rest of the season. He is out for the postseason, and he is out well into next year.
Close to CLOSTEBOL is what he was suspended for.
What?
That's the drug. Close to ball. I don't know. CLOSTEBOL.
I don't know why you're looking at me. I'm not on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my wife's in the medical field, but I mean, she's on here, so we can't.
Maybe at my age, I should be on it.
I don't know. Man, that's massive.
Will it help me hit the golf ball?
so you're telling me, and we're almost out of time.
I'm not telling you. Jeff Pass is telling you.
No. What I'm saying,
he's been popped and he out. So you know what? And I know everybody looks at me and goes, well, aren't you from San Diego? I could care less about the Padres. See you later. This whole Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, Juan Soto, this whole thing is blowing up in their face. And I just wonder, as I said on this show, I said you can't coexist with three major contracts like that. You cannot coexist. Machado $300 million, Fernando Tatis $345-ish, 340, and now Juan Soto close to $500 million. No way. And I said, who's the one guy that's got to go?
Manny.
I said Tatis. I don't think you get rid of Manny. Manny's a baller.
And
I think Manny Machado will be a Hall of Famer. I'm not a big Manny fan. Ever since Josh Donaldson should have decked him there at Camden Yards. Remember that? when he started popping off to JD. JD should have just smoked him. But neither here nor there. I think in the end, Manny Machado will probably sniff 3,000 hits. He's going to have 400 home runs, right?
Let me pull it up real quick.
Manny Machado is like a mini A-Rod. He's got A-Rod type talent. And A-Rod should be a Hall of Famer.
Don't tell me what happens in the last episode of The Captain. I haven't watched it yet.
I'm only on episode 3, I think.
So. Manny has 271 career homers, and he has 1,500, almost 1,550 hits. It's 1,540.
What's his RBIs?
816.
Yeah, remember he was a shortstop. These are incredible numbers.
830 career OPS and a 124 OPS plus.
Yeah, you wouldn't take these type numbers, an 830 career OPS from a guy who was playing middle infield and now third base. Manny Machado will be a baseball Hall of Famer. Agreed?
Yeah, I think so. Real quick.
Now, I'm not saying he ends his career with the Padres. They may ship that contract out.
Let's see. Nando played 130 games last year. Isn't going to play this year, and he's going to miss games next year. So how many games are left right now? Under 60. So he'll be back like maybe May of next year. Hey, at least his wrist will be healed.
Oh, wow.
So there's that. Maybe send Bob a text, see how he's doing.
Oh, my brother?
No, Bob Melvin.
Oh, no. My brother will be in panic mode, I can tell you that. Hey, by the way, as the Yankees were sizing up their World Series rings in June, Padres were just sizing up their World Series rings. How's that work?
I don't have it.
You don't have the panic button? Come on, this is the perfect time.
When I transferred everything over, I guess it didn't go, but we got to go.
All right. What do we have next?
We have 4 minutes of Ace Total Access. So
we got to go. Coming up next, Ace Total Access, brought to you by Chevron. Robert Ford from the Houston Astros, outstanding. Bobby Crosby, manager of Midland, outstanding. And, of course, Mark Kotsay and the Mark Kotsay Show. We'll see everybody on Monday. What time?
2 o'clock, same time.
2 o'clock on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Hey, Ace fans, your Athletics are back in town, and we're kicking off the